Alright guys and girls, welcome back to another quick video, or a 10-minute sort of style video, 10 minutes 24-second video. Now I'm just doing some videos. This is part 2 of Days Gone by Bend Studio. I think the publishers are actually Sony. Authorized PlayStation 4 systems only. A PlayStation system software updates may be required, or unauthorized access, or yeah, blah blah blah. It says PlayStation.com. I think this is to do with Sony, Sony Interactive Entertainment. So I believe they're the ones that sort of like published the game, but the studio behind all this that brings the magic to this game is Bend Studios. It's an exploration, explore a harsh open world, so it's not going to go easy on you, this game, guys and girls. They say it's not going to go basically easy at all on you. This is actually the same company that did Siphon Filter back in the old PlayStation 1 days. I would love the company to make another xylophone filter, probably 4 something or 5. I don't know how many they've made before actually, but siphon filter back in those days with the sort of electrical guns you used to go around with and electrocute the bad guys with those taser guns. Remind me, that was some classic stuff, retro stuff. Because that was that 93, probably 93 when that game came out. But yeah, they've actually done a cracking game here right now for Days Gone. Apparently 7 years in the wait in this game as well. This game is 7 years in the making, and it's just been released like yesterday. Yeah, so this was Friday the 26th of April. This game was released on. UK, that is. I think it was out everywhere though, pretty much. But I'm actually quite enjoying the story so far. Basically, you're like sort of two outlaws, or you are an outlaw itself, biker outlaw. It's like Sons of Anarchy. I haven't really watched the TV shows, but it's more like bikers getting in with gangs and having war turfs and all that shit going on. And you've been basically put out in the wild, in an open world, and things go on. It's like a post-apocalyptic. It's a cross between, I would say, The Walking Dead, and also Sons of Anarchy, like sort of mixed in between each other. Slash that new TV show that Netflix show's just come out. Forgot what it's called now, guys and girls. Oh yeah, and I did say this game wasn't in HDR or something, or didn't have high dynamic range, but I was looking on something on some settings, and I think it is in HDR, but I'm not too sure. Let's have a look. The new programs that started on Netflix at the moment. There's a new zombie TV show started on there. Black Summer, it's called. Started watching that like yesterday. Watched like 2 or 3 episodes. There's only like 8 episodes into the series so far. So that's in season 1. So I don't know if they'll bring any more out to season 1, or if that's just season 1 in itself. Oh, hang on, here we go. Let's just keeps jiggering for some reason. Yeah, it's jiggering through the bloody things here. But yeah, I don't know why it's jiggering like that for. Unless it's because the recording time through it. But anyway, I'm recording this. I'm editing it all through the PlayStation 4 Pro. Now, when the PlayStation 5 comes out, the 8K system in it, I hope they will have a 4K editing software built in, like DVR. Because I know they've actually got 1080p 60 frames per second when you're apparently, is it live streaming on here, I think? Oh no, not on here. You've got, yeah, actually I think it's 1080p 60 frames when you're live streaming. But when you're recording and you're just doing recordings like this, you can only record in 25, I think, frames or 30 frames per second, but you can still do it in 1080p. And I think really with the PlayStation 4 Pro, they could have just upped it to like 4K easily, because it is powerful. They could have done like an upscaled version or upscaled to 4K version of it, so it looks more cleaner and you can just upload it in like 30 frames, 25 frames per second. But yeah, I'm liking this game so far. I mean, the weather dynamics on it is really quite cool. The wind as well, you can see how windy the wind is blowing and all that. Looks amazing. And actually, you can see on the bike as well, there's like little roses on the bicycle there. That's pretty cool. But this is part 2 of Days Gone, because I'm uploading part 3 and then part 4 and 5. I'm going to be doing a couple series on this, or episodes to this series. So basically you're playing as Deacon. I think he's like sort of the main protagonist character. He's like with his friend. They're supposed to be getting somewhere or trying to find somewhere out of the town, or they're trying to get out of the place where they're supposed to be going to. So you end up with this motorbike crashed, with nowhere to find to fix it. So you go to this sort of like garage, and it's scattered at the moment with these sort of like zombies. Like it's kind of like crazy zombies, but they've got like different variation. Look at the wind on that. Look at the wind on those trees. Look, just blowing like sort of gale force winds type of trees. So they've got some good, decent sort of weather mechanics in it as well. That's pretty cool. The bicycle is pretty awesome in it as well. But as you can see, I'm not actually riding the bike on this one at this very time, because we're supposed to be getting from A to B and then from D to E and all that. So he's just trying to get to basic. Oh, and yeah, basically there's a trap here. We got to move all this truck out the way, this sort of RV type truck, and they tell you to push it and you have to press it with the square button. I was actually looking to try and find whether I could push that, but then you end up finding the truck with a zombie in it. As you can see, there's a zombie inside the truck there, but you'll see you'll get attacked in a minute, ambushed by these guys, I don't know, like sort of scavengers, probably trying to kill us, to try and take all our shit off us. So basically you just gotta sort of beat them up. And there's quite a few brutal sort of survival techniques you can do. There we go, slit his throat and put him on the floor. And then also if you press the L, hold the L button towards him in the direction, the left stick, and then you press the R1, you can do like little rows and stuff, or actually not R1, I think it's R2 to do the little sort of run, and then you can do more little twists like that, actually to try and avoid the characters, and then you can actually use that to, look, all the blood gushing out of him, Jesus. I mean, they've actually done quite a lot on the blood side of things. Don't forget, this is sort of a survival game, so it's a post-apocalyptic sort of style, Walking Dead style game. It's not actually Walking Dead though, but I don't think that's where they were going for, and I don't think I've ever seen a game looking so beautiful for open world zombie apocalypse game like this. So Ben Studio have done a great flipping job on it. I actually hold my hat off to them. They've actually done a really good job. And actually now what we do, we go into this tunnel, and it's quite dark in there. They could have put a little bit of light in there. It is a bit dark, but obviously when you go into tunnels it's not going to be light, is it? So obviously the contraction of the light is not as great. But to be honest, for this game I would have loved to do this in 4K, guys and girls. Recorded this in 4K HDR and all that, just to give you the better visuals of how the game is, lifelike and all that. But the PlayStation 4 Pro doesn't allow that to happen. Hopefully PS5 does at some point. Hopefully we have a 4K HDR, 8K HDR or something effects to it. But anyway, guys and girls, cheers for watching. stay safe, and I'll see you on the flip side.